Hello, I'm Anthony Sellwyn and welcome to Pillar Yoga Club. I'm going to be taking you through a backbending flow today to create space in the front of the body. So it's often a common misconception in backbends that you think you're stretching your back, where actually you're compressing the back body and stretching the front body. And all of our spines are built completely differently. Some people have a lot of space between each vertebrae, other people have less space. So the way your back bend is going to vary depending on how much space you have in your spine already, just in the skeleton. The main key to think about is that we want to create a proportionate curve throughout the whole spine. So we're not trying to bend loads into the lower back or loads into the neck. We're trying to create that nice equilibrium of curve throughout the whole spine to distribute the load. So that's what we're going to be working on. Let's get going. Okay, before we start moving, let's just close down the eyes. You can sit cross-legged, you can kneel, or if you prefer, you can lie on your back. So we're closing down the eyes and just starting to bring the awareness to the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Relaxing all the facial muscles from the forehead to the eyebrows, relaxing the eyelids, lips, tongue, and jaw. Relaxing every cell in your body as you just feel the breath breathing itself. And when you feel ready, just opening the eyes if you're sat upright so that we can then roll down onto our backs, keeping this awareness really finely tuned throughout the practice. We're going to bring the feet close to the hips, about hip width apart, and slowly curl the tailbone off the mat, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae into a bridge pose. Once you're in your bridge, you can either grip the edges of the mat with your hands like so, or if you feel a bit more open in your shoulders, you can interlace the hands, stretch the arms, and walk the shoulders underneath you. Just careful you're not straining into that position. We're warming up. From here, we're going to try to squeeze the glutes, tucking the tailbone, scooping the tailbone up to the ceiling as you exhale, and then inhale, lift the chest towards the chin. Exhale to tuck tailbone, scooping up to the ceiling. And then inhale, lift chest to chin. Almost feel like you're lifting and trying to squash your throat with your chest. And then slowly release the hands and roll vertebrae by vertebrae back down onto the mat. Lovely. From here, kicking both legs up to the ceiling, flexing both feet. Reaching your arms past your legs, chest off the mat, head off the mat. Pull your belly button down towards the ground. And then just walk with the legs, keeping them completely straight, just moving 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, warming up the core, stretching the back to the legs, strengthening the hip flexors. Lovely. Drop the left leg so it's just hovering off the ground as you exhale. As you inhale, lift higher, bring the chest up, bring the leg up. Swap. Next inhalation, pull everything in. And exhale, bring the leg back up, point the toes, lower the head, arms, squeezing your inner thighs towards each other. Imagine you're trying to crack a walnut in between your legs and slowly lower the legs for 5. Really squeeze in. Feel those inner thighs shaking. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the legs and just let the feet drop out if that's where your legs naturally want to go. Letting your hips relax, just taking a very mini shavasana. Breathing deeply again. And then bending the legs. Catching the backs of the hamstrings. We're just going to kick the legs up to roll back and then kick the feet down to roll up. Keeping the spine really round so that you can roll smoothly, massaging the muscles in your spine. Next one, we're going to roll all the way forward, either rolling through cross-legged position, or you can just swing the legs around, flipping over into tabletop position. From here, we're going to inhale to lift the chest, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other as you go into your arch. And then exhale, round the back. Try to spread your shoulder blades apart as you go into your rounded back. Again, inhale to arch the back, squeezing shoulder blades in. This is called retraction of the shoulder blades. And then we want to do the opposite as we spread the shoulder blades apart, pull the belly button in, protract your shoulder blades. Just one more time. Inhale to arch, squeezing shoulder blades in. Exhale to round, pulling belly button up. And from there, we're going to tuck the toes and push up into our first downward facing dog. Good, just gently pedaling through the feet, bringing some blood flow into the backs of those legs. Just walk, don't force the heels down, but gently press them towards the mat. Lovely. From here, we're going to step the right foot forward as we inhale, reach the arms up, finding your high lunge. Sinking into the right leg. Driving through the back leg, bring the hands to fists and just rotate the hands. 4, 3, warm up those wrists. 2, and 1, change direction. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to twist our body to the right as we exhale, opening the arms out, shoulder height, and then inhale, come back the way we came. Exhale, turn the back foot 90 degrees, press down with your arms, engage the lats, find your warrior 2. Inhale, reverse, slide the left arm down the back leg, right arm reaches over the top. Exhale, windmill down towards the ground, step back to plank, bring the feet together. Again, squeezing the inner thighs. This is your stability, squeezing those inner thighs, which we're going to need in our back bends later. Rock backwards and forwards. 5, 4, squeeze in with the legs. 3, 2, 1. Taking a half chaturanga, just drop the knees down. Then move your chest forward as you bend at the triceps. Nothing's collapsing, I'm just bending at the elbows to lower all the way down, nice and slow. Good. From here, taking our first taking our first Sphinx. So the elbows just underneath or slightly in front of my shoulders. I'm stretching my legs and pointing my toes. I'm squeezing my glutes to press my pubic bone into the floor and pulling my belly button away from the ground. Now dig your fingertips into the mat and have a dragging action with your arms to try and generate a bit of stretch in the front body. Again, find that proportionate curve and breathe. Exhale, ripple back down, find the hands either side of the chest, ready for cobra. Using the back muscles to lift, not just your arms. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to push back to downward facing dog. Take a moment. Reconnect with the breath. From here, step the left foot forward. Inhale, reach the arms up, high lunge. Exhale, sink into the front leg, drive through the back leg. Bring the hands to fists, rotate. 4, 3, 2, 1. Change direction. 4, 3, 2, 1. Twist to the left, exhale, open the arms. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, open out, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, windmill down, find yourself in plank. Bring the feet together. Squeeze the bum. Actually, let's step the feet slightly apart now and try to reach the right arm forward. Maybe lift the left leg off. Try to find the stability. And swap sides. Right hand down, left arm lifts. Maybe also lift the right arm. And bring hand and foot back down. Option for full chaturanga or drop the knees first, then bend the elbows as you exhale. Going directly into cobra now, use the back to lift, inhale. Exhale, push back, hips high, downward facing dog. From here, swing the right leg up, inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee to the forehead and hold for 3. Squeeze the heels to the bum, engage the hamstring, 2. 1, inhale, lift back up, high in the sky. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, stretch the arms, lift the chest. And then exhale, bow forward over the front foot. Option to stay here on both legs, or if you want a little challenge, bring it into a balance. Point the back foot, shifting forward, then lift the back leg, coming into your balance, warrior 3. Just take 1 inhalation, and then on your exhalation, step back to the back of the mat. Reach the arms up as you inhale. Squeeze the glutes. Think about that proportionate curve in your spine as you back bend. Don't go too much into the lower back, too much into the neck. Open the arms, then ripple down. Find yourself in plank as you inhale. Lower through chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Take some grounding breaths here in down dog, or if you prefer to rest, take yourself down onto the knees. Find yourself in child's pose. Coming back to downward facing dog if you're not already there. And then as we inhale, we're going to sweep the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bring the left knee to the forehead, contract the front body, squeeze the heel to the bum, breathe. Shoulders are on top of wrists. And swing the leg back up. Inhale, step forward, top of the mat. Dive the arms up. And then exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, stretch the arms, lift the chest. And then exhale, bow forward over the front foot. Option to stay here, or point the back foot and slowly lift the back leg. Take 1 deep breath, inhale. And then exhale, slow step back. Squeeze the bum, inhale, reach the arms up. Arch the back, lift the chest, tuck the tailbone, and then ripple down to the ground, step back and lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra, shoulders down and back. Exhale, push back, downward facing or child's pose. A few breaths here. If you're not already in your downward facing dog, find yourself coming back up into that down dog. And then on your next inhalation, we're sweeping the right leg up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up, high lunge. Exhale, wrap the right elbow under the left. So we're taking Garudasana. Maybe just crossing the elbows, or if you can, double cross the arms, finding that full eagle posture in those arms. Then we're going to lift the elbows up, Squeeze them towards each other a little bit as we exhale, bow forward. Now for balancing, point the back foot, lift the back leg, and try to lift your arms at the same time so you're lifting your chest. It's a bit of a back bend. Breathe for 3, 4, 2. Last breath in. Slow exhale to step back. From here, bend the back knee, just hover it off the ground. Tuck the tailbone, so I'm scooping the back side of my tailbone down. And then as I inhale, I'm lifting the arms up and over my head. Take 3 breaths there. Every inhale, lift the chest higher. Every exhale, maybe drop a little bit further back. Exhale, release the arms. Step back and lower. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, we're all going to push back onto the knees now and find puppy posture. So the palms are reaching out, either flat palms or fingertips, as we melt our armpits towards the mat, rotating our tailbone up to the ceiling. One day you lay your chest onto the ground, but don't force anything. Some people might like to rest their chin, others can drop the forehead or even turn the head to one side. Just feel what feels good in your body. And slowly walking back out. Just sit back onto the knees. Just roll the shoulders back a few times. And we're good to go. Let's go. Second side. Hands come down, pushing up. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg up. As you exhale, step the left leg forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left elbow comes under the right this time. So crossing the arms, maybe double wrap the arms. Lift the elbows up. And then exhale, bow forward. Option to stay here on 2 feet, just lifting the elbows. Otherwise, lift the back foot too. And we're lifting the leg as we lift the arms for 3. So it's a back bend for 2. And 1. Exhale, slow step back. Hover the back knee off the ground, tuck the tailbones. Scooping that tailbone down, lifting the elbows up and over. Every inhale, lift the chest. Every exhale, drop back. Only go as far as feels good for you. And exhale, release. Step back and lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, exhale. Find yourself in puppy. You can either use your hands again, or if you've got blocks or even books, you could use those. So you can place 2 blocks, have your hands on the blocks as you drop your chest through, or you can just skip that. Hold here for 3. Slow, deep breaths. And then slowly walk back in. Good. If you've got a block or a book, that would be great, especially if your shoulders are a little bit on the tighter side, or if you're broad, then a block can really help with this next posture. We're going into a dolphin, which is quite challenging, but it's going to really help to strengthen, but also mobilize the shoulder joint, which is key for some of the back bending practices. So we want our hands either side of this brick or book, holding it like so. So my palms will be flat, and it's just hooking into this little corner between my hands. Okay, so then my elbows come down tight. I'm not letting the elbows come out to the side like this. Parallel elbows. Tuck the toes, push up. Find yourself in something like a down dog, but with your forearms on the mat, and walk your feet towards the elbows. Press your head away from the mat, elevating the shoulders. Push your chest through your arms if you can. Breathe here, or if you like, you can Lift up and down with the heels, getting a little bit more opening into those shoulders as you send your hips over the top. Okay, a couple more of those. And then when you feel ready, slowly come back down. Lovely. From here, we're going to step the right foot forward. Tuck the back toe and turn the back foot. Windmilling up to a warrior two. Okay, so you're going to find yourself in that warrior two. From here, we're going to take the right arm over the head, left arm behind the back. So we're trying to find a bind, either wrapping around with the fingertips or catching the t-shirt. Tuck the tailbone again, and then drop your left shoulder towards the back foot, feeling that stretch across the right side of your body. Breathe. And stretch the right leg, reach the right arm forward, ready for triangle posture. Reach with the right arm, drop with the right hand, lift with the left hand. Looking up towards the top fingertips, tuck the tailbone. Option to stay here on two legs. Otherwise, we're transferring forward, lifting the back leg off into our half moon. Option to stay there, or if you're feeling like a challenge, try to bend the back leg, catch the back foot, and pull that leg back into a Chapasana bind. Still opening up through the chest. If you've caught the foot, try to arch the back a little bit away from the left side of your mat, so you're reaching your head around to the back towards that foot. And release that leg. Slow step back. One more inhale to reverse. And then exhale to release. Turn to face the front foot with your hips. Good. Take that back leg nice and far away. Bring your hands to prayer and twist to the right side, hooking your left elbow. If you're feeling a little bit unstable here, feel free to drop that back knee. If you're feeling strong, stretch the back leg, twist your chest, maybe look up to the sky. If you're feeling like an even more advanced variation, we're trying to take the left hand underneath our right leg and then wrap the right arm behind the back, rolling that right shoulder blade back, taking a bind in this lunge. And exhale, release. Step back to plank and lower chaturanga. From here, interlace the hands behind the back, lift the chest and extend the arms, keeping the chest off the mat, maybe even lifting the legs off the mat. Squeeze the glutes, pull the belly button in and breathe. Every inhale, lift a bit higher. Every exhale, maintain. One more breath, inhale. And lovely exhale, just release back down. Bring the hands either side of the chest. And inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, push back. Good. Taking it either into dolphin or puppy again. So it's totally fine if you're feeling like you prefer to just get back in touch with your breath, restore some energy, drop the chest low, melt the armpits to the ground, working on that passive shoulder mobility. Otherwise, we're taking the block. If you want to use one again, pushing the hips up, finding your dolphin and walking the feet in. This time maybe lifting a leg above the head into kind of like a fusion between standing split and dolphin. And then swapping the other leg. Keep the breath connected. One more time, both legs. Keep pushing the mat away in dolphin. And exhale. Drop the knees down. Take the block to one side. Everybody finding themselves back in downward facing dog. Swing the left leg up. High in the sky. Exhale, step forward. Top of the mat. Turn the back foot 90 degrees, windmill up. Warrior two. So we're back in that warrior two pose. Left leg forward, right leg back, tuck tailbone. Left arm over the head, right arm behind the back, reaching for the fingertips. So don't worry if the fingertips aren't available, just catch your t-shirt. You don't have to force a bind, no problem. Reach up and over to drop back into that side bend. You should feel this stretch down the left side of the body, maybe through the lats, maybe even in your left tricep. Breathe there. And exhale, release. Release the arms, shoulder height. If your leg feels a bit far away for Trikonasana, just bring it in. Find the stance that works for you. Keep that tailbone tucked. Reach the left arm forward, pull the ribs in, and then fold. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches up. Pressing with the back of that left hand to help facilitate a little bit of extra twist in your Trikonasana. Maybe we're staying here. Maybe we're transferring forward, lifting the back leg. Maybe bending the right knee to the chest, catching the foot, and then pulling yourself back into Chapasana bind, trying to roll the right shoulder up to the sky. Maybe kick the foot into the hand, and then arch the back, trying to circle the chest all the way around towards that foot. And on our next exhalation, we're just going to slowly step back, windmilling up and over, reverse. Exhale, release back to warrior two. Square up the hips, so our left leg is forward still, both hips in alignment facing the front of our mat. Bring the hands to prayer and twist to the left side, pulling the belly button in as you exhale. Option to stay here. Feel free to drop the back knee for a bit more stability. Maybe looking up to the ceiling. Maybe taking that bind if you feel like taking the left arm behind the back, maybe even the right arm underneath the leg to connect the fingers. Breathe for 3. Keep pressing through the back leg, pull the belly button in as you twist, exhale. On your next exhalation, unwind. Bring the left leg back to find your plank. Slow chaturanga, coming all the way down. Just take a mini shavasana there. Just drop the arms back. Relax the legs, relax the whole body. Feel the breath, breathing into the floor. Feel the heartbeat beating into the ground. Try to slow down the heart a little bit. Try to slow down the breath. And we're coming up. Okay. Floor bow. Try not to force your floor bow. So we should still be able to breathe here. Bend the legs. If you can, catch the feet. If you can't catch the feet, just hover the hand next to the foot. You don't have to catch the foot. But if you can, catch both feet on the outer edges of the foot. Then we're going to squeeze the glutes, pressing the pubic bone a little bit down, pulling the belly button away from the ground. Retract your shoulder blades, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Then start to lift the thighs up, up, up. Then start to lift the chest up. And just breathe. Find a space that you can breathe in. If that means you're a bit lower, but you're breathing deeply into the ribs, then great. Don't force yourself into a position where you're stopping the breath, where you're stopping the flow of prana. And release the legs. Release the hands. And just lie for a moment, letting your legs just drop to wherever they want to drop. Bring the hands either side of the chest. Inhale, ripple up through cobra. Use those back muscles to lift. And then push back to child's pose. Take a few more breaths here. Back bend, we're releasing a lot of energy. A lot of energy gets stored in the spine. So it's always good to give time for the body to rebound after a deep back bend. And then we're going to push up when we feel ready. And we're going to come up onto our knees now. Okay, let's do our first camel as an active camel. So we're not reaching for the feet just yet. We're going to tuck the tailbone. We're going to bring the hands onto the hips. So what we don't want is this anterior pelvic tilt when we're going into a back bend. What we're doing when we do that is actually just compressing the lumbar spine. As we lift the hips up at the back, we're just compressing the spine at the back, which is not what we want. So we want to tuck that tailbone down, creating length here. This is the most unstable but most flexible part. So what we want is actually to bring flexibility into the most stable but bound part, which is our middle and upper back. So when we tuck that tailbone, we're creating length and stability. And then we're going to roll the elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze back. Then we're going to try to lift our chest up and over without losing that pelvic tilt. And you don't have to go all the way to the ground. Just find that back bend that feels good in your body, that you can still breathe. And exhale, come back up, sit back down. And you can either just close down the eyes, kneeling, or drop the forehead down into child's pose, whatever feels good for you. And slowly come back up. Lift back up onto the knees. Good. Feel free to stick with that version. If you're still working on building an awareness of your spine, strength and freedom in your spine, stick with that. Otherwise, if you feel like you want to take it up a notch, it's actually probably less effort. If you can catch the heels, you have to use less effort, but you probably go into a deeper back bend. So it's always good to actually apply more effort at the beginning when you're trying to strengthen and open up your body, rather than going into a deeper but less supported pose. So only go into this if you feel ready and if it feels good and not too compressive. So we're going into maybe hands on hips, tuck tailbone, just like we did before, or if you want to go deeper, we're dropping the hands onto the heels. Notice my feet, the toes are tucked for the first one. Then if you've caught the heels, we're trying to press the hips forward. Imagine an invisible wall in front of your hips that you're trying to push the hips into. At the same time, squeezing glutes and lifting the chest. I feel such a stretch across my pecs. And again, I'm not just dropping my neck off the back, crushing my cranial artery. I'm trying to create proportionate curve in my spine. It might not be perfect, but as long as I'm thinking about that. One more deep breath, if that feels okay for you. And then slowly come back out, back to kneeling perhaps, closing down the eyes or softening the gaze, or coming back to child's pose if that feels good. Okay. One more Ustrasana, camel pose. So we're pushing up onto these knees. This time, if it feels okay, if you were great, feeling good in this one, then we can take it up one more notch. We're going to start from the heels with the feet pointed, so it's going to be slightly deeper. So only go this far if it felt good in the last one, you want to go further. Otherwise, work on one of the other previous options. It's great to do multiple sets of things. That's how we build strength and build an awareness in a new thing. So we're going to bring these hands onto the heels if you want to go for this option. And we're going to press the hips forward and lift the chest up. Pressing the shins into the mat is another nice cue. Pressing the tops of the feet down as we squeeze the glutes. Press the hips forward and lift the chest up. Breathing expansively into the ribs. And slowly come back out the way you came, or come up and then sit back down onto the heels. Lovely. From there, we're going to sit onto our left glute and swing the right leg around, crossing it over the knee. Good. So we're pressing our right sit bone down, both sit bones are grounded. If you find this foot really hard to cross over, you can just release it from the knee. It doesn't have to be crossed over. You can just take it near the knee and wrap the arm. But if the foot's crossed over the knee, we're wrapping that left elbow around the front of the shin. Or we're taking this arm right across, maybe even reaching for the bind if you feel good, to wrap that arm through the gap. Other arm comes behind, reaching for fingertips or wrist. Press both sit bones down, inhale, lift up. Pull the belly button in, exhale, twist. Looking over the right shoulder. If that doesn't feel like it's straining your neck. If that's too much, just neutralize the neck. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Use your bandhas. Inhale, lift up. Belly button pulls in and up towards the rib cage. That's your Uddiyana Bandha as you exhale and twist. One more breath, thinking about the belly button. Inhale, lift. Pull the belly button in and up. Exhale, twist. Lovely, release your twist. If you like, you can give yourself a little counter twist before we go over to the other side. Just twisting for one breath on the other side. And then swapping the legs. Okay, so my right leg's crossed underneath. Left leg stepping over if that's available to you. Or left leg just stepping near the knee. Okay, both sit bones grounded. Wrap the right arm or the right elbow or reach for the bind. If you're binding, you need to go through this from the outside through the gap, and then left arm comes behind the back. And again, no need to force a bind. Just go there when you're ready, when it feels easeful. Okay, press both sit bones down, inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull belly button in, gently twist. Inhale to lift. Exhale, twisting, pulling belly button in and up. 3 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Just 2 more. And release. Stretching both legs forward. Reaching both arms up. Let's bring either feet together. Or if you feel very restricted in your hamstrings, then maybe having the legs a little bit wider is going to give you a little bit more ease to fold forward. So either reaching for the feet, if you can catch them. If you're not catching them just yet, you can either use a strap if you've got one, or a towel, or a t-shirt, whatever, or you can just grab the backs of the legs. And we're just going to gently encourage the chest to lengthen forward as we inhale. Maybe uncurl the tailbone a little bit at the back as we exhale, fold down, relaxing the head and neck. And we're not forcing this hamstring stretch, just take your time with it. You don't have to be in 100% intensity in every pose, especially when you're trying to increase range. Actually, it's a bit more productive to reduce it a little bit. Find yourself in about 50%, 60, 70% max intensity. 100% is just going to cause little micro tears, slow down your progress. And slowly release, back out. Just going to bend the knees, taking the fingertips to face outward. And push the hips up into either reverse tabletop, or if you want something more intense, you can turn the fingertips forwards and stretch the legs. Point the toes, lift the hips into Purvatasana. Trying to find that stretch in the front of your chest and shoulders as you lift the hips, stretch the legs and bring your toes towards the ground. And slowly release back down. Bring your hips a little bit further up the mat if you need to, so that you can roll all the way down onto your back. And we're bending our knees. Good. Ready for bridge pose. Pushing the hips back up into bridge. Maybe you're staying here or interlacing the hands behind the back, stretching the arms and walking the shoulders in. Just Take a couple breaths there, finding your bridge. Seeing if it feels completely different or the same to when we first started the practice, hopefully a little bit more open. And then slowly roll back down. Send the knees left to right. So you're totally fine to do one more of those. Or maybe you want to come into restorative bridge now, placing a block or a book underneath the bum. You can go for low or even higher with that block if you've got a yoga block, and just hang out there if you want a bit more of a restful pose right now. But if you're feeling like you want to really go up into full wheel, it's quite a challenging posture and this can take years for some people to learn, so don't force yourself into it. But if you'd like to try it today, here we go. We're going to take the hands either side of the shoulders, and we don't want them right underneath our shoulders. That's going to make things a little bit harder. Take the hands a little bit further away. And if you're a little bit tighter in your shoulders, having the hands wider and slightly turning the fingertips outward will just generally make things a little bit easier for you. So the hand position is really important. And I'm going to push my hips up first, and then I'm going to press with my hands into the mat to gently lift the top of my head onto the mat. And I'm using these arms really to control my weight. My head isn't really taking much weight. Maybe you're staying there. Maybe you're slowly stretching the arms a little bit and then coming back down. Then maybe walking the hands in a little bit more if you like, and stretching the arms up and coming back down again. Walking the hands in a little bit. Stretch the arms up. Maybe we're coming up into full wheel now. Maybe coming onto the tips of the toes. I like to do that. Keeps a little bit more length in my lower back. And then I'm going to try and press my chest through my arms as I really extend through the elbows. Breathe. Deeper the back bend, deeper the breath. You can walk the feet in or walk the hands in, going as far as you want to go, but be sensible. Listen to your body and respect it. Slowly come back down the way you came, rolling onto the back of the head, chin to chest. If you come quite tight, you might want to release the legs and then roll all the way down, everyone coming back onto the back. Taking some constructive rest now. Feet wide, drop the knees in. For some people this feels really nice as a decompression after a back bend, and we want to just have a nice neutral spine for a moment. Again, feeling the energy released by the pose we just did. Feeling our body in this moment. Simple yet powerful. And release the legs. Good. From here we're going to come into either figure 4, which is when we cross the left foot over the right knee, and then interlace the hands around either the hamstring or a slightly deeper stretch. Come around the top of the knee and pull the leg a bit closer. That's a lovely that's a lovely glute stretch. You can stay there, pulling the tailbone down, or if you want something slightly different, we're going to swing this right leg over the head, catch around the back of the leg, maybe the calf or around the heel, and try to pull the foot towards the ground. This might not work for you today, or it might feel great, so just experiment with things and you can take them or leave them. We're not forcing our body into anything, we're just experimenting and listening to what feels good without judgment, without expectations. And just release to swap the legs. Crossing the other foot over. Either interlace the hands or swing the leg over the head, pull the foot towards the ground, and breathe softly and smoothly in and out through the nose. And exhale to release. Rolling back down if you kick the leg over, and then we're just going to open the legs out wide into happy baby. Grabbing either the big toes with our peace fingers, or we can take the outsides of the feet with our hands, or for a deeper hip opener, we're going from the inside to the outside, and then pulling gently down with our hands and arms as we try to lengthen the base of our spine also towards the ground. And exhale, release the legs. Lovely, just lengthen the legs out. Feel where the hips naturally want to drop and the legs want to sit in the hips. Hands slightly wider, palms facing up, receiving energy as you close down the eyes. And relax every cell in your body. Letting go of all the poses, letting go of all judgments and opinions of the mind. If anything came up for you today, any frustrations, any insecurities, or anything at all that was kind of blocking your mind, just try to let that go now. It happens to us all, that's fine. Just witness yourself and allow yourself to be just as you are, perfectly imperfect. And just relax, let go. Beautiful, feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Otherwise, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I really hope you learned something and you enjoyed the session. Have a beautiful day.